Good morning and namaste. Rena Wiles here. I'm going to give a little bit of some channeling that has come through. If you've been keeping track, I'm sure you've noticed that I've said that a lot of things from the aliens. I don't like to call them aliens, so I'm going to start calling them the guardians and what they've been coming through. So I'm just going to connect because I'm feeling that energy and my energy, and I feel like they really want to speak through me. So there's a lot that has been coming through, and these are all new teachings that are coming to the planet. So I haven't looked into alien things before. I mean, I've looked into some things, on the starseed and what that means and different types of starseeds and that type of thing. But these are teachings that are coming through. So these are all new teachings. I don't know what teachings are out there. I'm not into the Ashtar command. That doesn't even really resonate with me. So I'm just giving whatever is coming through. So basically what they're saying is that I'm going to be a portal, an activated portal for many different light beings that are coming through. The other night I was going to bed, I felt 13 around me. So I know that they're more as a collective. We like to individualize. We like to separate here because that's how things are on the planet. And that's okay because it's actually a gift of being an individual here on the planet. Because when we go back in source, we're all amalgamated into one. So they want me to start speaking about that aspect, what it's like in spirit and what it's like here and what it's meant to be here and why we are here. And you may not think of what it is. We like to individualize everything, but it's also from a state of the mass consciousness of why we are here. And this is where they want to get the point across. It's very much important to do the individual work and the self-work because that is something that we honor, and it is such a gift to have that here. But there's also another collective reason for it. So let's start with... let's start with that. And I do this with my eyes closed so I can keep the flow going and that I can continue with that feeling that I feel when they're connected to me because it's such a beautiful feeling. What they're saying is that when we're in spirit, they want you to look at, for an example, how the birds flock together in the sky when they move in time, or like a school of fish. And when we're like a school of fish and that we're moving in time, we move one way and another. We are part of a mass collective when we are in spirit. And this is what it's like all over in spirit. On every planet, on every star base, on every part of source, everything in spirit is telepathy-wise. We are so merged like this in spirit. And we are merged like this in spirit. We are continuously all striving for the highest good. We don't have individual choices. We do when we somewhat go... Okay, they're saying that we have different choices that we are presented to for highest good, but everything that is of a choice is from the highest good. And so when we decide to break away from source and go into work into something else, that is because of the highest good of the collective. It is not for an individual highest good. It is for a highest good of the collective together, of source. And everything we do in spirit is of a collective highest good. And so we continue to do that. Even though we break away and we go somewhere else and we incarnate somewhere else, we don't have, that's what they're saying, we don't have that free will of individualism, that everything that we continue to do is because of the highest good. And they're also saying that because what's happened is that when we've tried to break away on other planets where to experience the individualism, it has created great amount of chaos. Yes, chaos and wars and fighting and that type of thing. And they're saying just because we have the wars and whatnot here, it's because we don't understand our individualism and the power that we get from it. And that is another reason why we come here, is to experience this other side to it so that we can find ourselves back to self, because when we come through, the veil of amnesia clicks in. Right, when in other places we don't have a veil of amnesia. This is the only planet that we have that. And I'm just giving to you what I'm getting right now. Okay, so they're telling me to go back into the channel of what I've talked about before, of what they've given me before. So when we've come here on the planet, okay, so we're going to go more into the ebb and flow. So when we're continuously in the ebb and flow, and we're continuously in this beautiful space, everything is of a collective decision. We immediately feel and hear and understand everybody else that's around us. Everybody, all of Source, everything. And so that we can't make an individualized decision because it doesn't resonate. We feel resistance when it's not a place of highest good. And so when we're moving and flowing into that, we then choose highest good. And we move into that direction. When we come to the planet was created so that we could, yes, experience nirvana. That's exactly what they tell me, that this planet is the most dense because we are dimensional travelers, and that we come here, that we want to merge the three-dimensional into the being of Source. Now, this is going really into extraterrestrial. And they brought me the Hopi Indian quote. If you look at that when the aliens created humans, and this goes back into Dolores Cannon's work, so if you want to go listen to Dolores Cannon, please do, because she explains a lot of that, that they're trying to get the genetic makeup correct. And this is what they've said to me, is they've only had a few instances where they've got it correct, for instance, like Jesus. We want to be able to use Source abilities here on the planet to create the nirvana just like we do in spirit. It is about bridging the two. It's about bridging so that there is no separation, so that eventually one day they want to be able to lift the veil of amnesia. But that's not going to happen until we are all owning the gift of individualism for the highest good. So when we come here, and we are incarnating into the human DNA that we are creating to try and create the most perfect DNA. The light workers come, and everybody, and what they're saying is not just light workers, everybody comes into the body to change the family blueprint of the DNA. And this is the reason for it, is because we cannot have these patterns. And so you're here on Earth, you're here to change your family DNA and the blueprint. And all you have to do is continue to choose highest good for self. We do not understand individualism. When we are in a collective Source and we're merging and working and feeling everything else telepathy-wise with everybody else, we don't understand the individualism. Sometimes we have that instinct with us when we're in Source that we know deep that it's for our highest good. We want to experience, well, what if I didn't choose that? What if I didn't choose what the collective wanted? And this is the reason why Earth was created, so that we could experience that other aspect of that. And so we come here to experience our own free will and our other side of if we didn't choose with the collective, so that we can experience self on a deeper level. And that's the reason why we all come here. And it's to heighten that, and it's to create a bridge so that the more that we bring in this light into this vessel, it's going to change our DNA. And that's why a lot of people that come here when you awaken, the answer that you get for light workers is to just simply be, because that is enough. That is enough to awaken and to be fully present, connected to Source in your body. And that will create the DNA pattern that's needed and the resonance of patterns that we need. We need the human skin because eventually we want to be able to come into incarnation, to leave Source consciously and to say, I'm ready for a vacation and I'm going to come down to planet Earth without the veil, without the amnesia, and to continue to recognize that we are continuously connected to Source, no matter if we are in a 3D, 5D, 6D, 13D, whatever it is, that we are continuously connected. And so that we can come here. But the difference here with planet Earth is that we are the only planet that has free will. We are the only planet that has free will. In Source, we don't have free will because we're individualized, but not to the point where we're so separate like we are in the 3D. 3D totally separates us, takes us, pulls us out, and we go through the birth canal to come into a physical manifestation so that we are totally separate. However, when we're in spirit, we don't have free will because we are so tapped into everything else and everybody else and all of creation, so that when we're merged, we want to experience something different. We are so pulled into highest good. We cannot get away from highest good when we are in source. We can't, and that's why we come here. It's absolutely impossible. And that's why we come here, is to experience that other side to it. And to own our individualism. It is such a gift here to have that free will and that individualism, so that we can continue to choose. And then what happens is that we always find our way back to the highest good. It always comes back to that. It always comes back to that. Yeah, so they're saying we want planet Earth to be of a place of nirvana. Total nirvana and paradise. This is a break for us. Now that they've channeled this through me and what I feel, and I can connect to what it's like when you're moving and you're so expansive and you're in everything else. And it brings up this image of Wayne Dyer. I know he's just recently crossed over, and people were seeing him in the water and seeing him in the clouds, and everyone's feeling Wayne Dyer's energy. Well, yes, because it's so expansive now. You become part of everything. Everything that consciousness touches, which is everything of creation. You end up being that because you're back into the whole. And you feel it and all of that. And Earth is a rest from that. And so the reason we have problem quieting our minds, this is another good tidbit that they gave me. The reason we have such issues, quieting our minds, the reasons why we cling to people, the reasons why we are codependent on this planet is because we're used to being in a merged environment. We are so used to having voices and telepathy and people around us and thoughts and movements, and because we're constantly in this flow when we're in spirit, we're part of it all. And so it's no wonder why the highly sensitive, and when you come here, you experience depression. You are alone. You crave touch. You don't want to be alone. You're fearful of being alone. It is because that is the unknown to us. Being alone and silence in your individualism is a new thing that we are trying out on this planet. And that's why it's hard to let go of those thoughts, to let go of all of the mind. Because we start to create it in our mind because it is what we know. It is comfort to constantly be like, la 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 la, moving, because we're constantly in spirit that way. We're constantly flowing that way. We're constantly feeling that all the time. And to come here and to have silence inside of your skin is something that we're just simply not accustomed to. And so be kind to yourself. This is the gift. This is the gift, to experience this silence within, to experience individualism, you just in your shell. It is totally a gift. And to understand that when we start to act out in codependent behaviors, it is because we are accustomed to having energy around us all the time, immersed in energy all the time, not just around us, within, merged in it, all around us, breathing, seeping it all in through us, like everything. We are accustomed to that. And so be kind to yourself when you realize that you are alone, that's okay, that is actually a gift, to find more of yourself. That's the reason why we come here. Okay, they're saying that's it for today. I would love to hear your comments. These are all new teachings that are coming through me. They want me to write again this week, which I will do. They're telling me that I need to put a book together of channels. They're coming, and exactly why the human race is here. Yeah, they're saying it's time that the humans actually know why they're here, because you're all part of source of why we came here, to heighten. It's time to heighten our DNA. We want to make this a place of paradise, and we can do it. Namaste. Have a wonderful day of love.